Today's video we're going to talk about social anxiety, because I think most of us have suffered with anxiety, even if you don't really want to talk about it. But in this side of the internet where I am is just full of positive and love, and I just want to help people. So let's talk about social anxiety. I have an anxiety disorder, a certain type of anxiety disorder called situational mutism, which I will make a video on another day, and that's when I lose the ability to speak when I'm overwhelmed or tired, and it happens at every appointment. I just stop speaking, I cry, I've hit doctors, I've hit dentists, I've been pinned down for having things done to me. But today we're going to talk about social anxiety, because I think most of us have had some form of social anxiety, and especially since COVID happened. And today's guest is my friend Rebecca. She is a beautiful person inside and out. She suffers with her anxiety and agoraphobia, many other things, but I think it's very important to talk about. So why not visit her and let's talk about social anxiety.
It's all kind of like connected, health anxiety, social anxiety. So I think with me, a lot of it is health anxiety in the sense of, it's hard to describe. It's a bit like, I think maybe I should go from where it began a little bit, because it's easier. Because I think it began when I was a child and my mother was frightened of illnesses, or she just did not like illnesses. As a result of that, I used to hide being unwell.
Okay.
So I used to hide my symptoms, and she controlled me a lot. And so I was frightened of getting unwell, because I knew that if I got unwell, she would tell me off. And she would do everything possible. She wrapped me in cotton wool so I didn't get unwell. And as a result, whenever I went out, I was frightened of mixing with people in case I caught something from them.
Yeah.
And then as a result, I've ended up where I am today, which is, there's a lot of avoidance in any anxiety disorder, isn't there?
Like when you said agoraphobia,
Yeah.
you have that too, don't you?
Agoraphobia as well, so there's a lot of avoidance there where you are so restricted in what you can do. And with things like health anxiety and social anxiety, you end up in like a small little bubble, really, because I suppose it's a kind of like a threat to yourself. You feel like you're threatened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then and to protect yourself, you don't want to get unwell because you think something bad's going to happen to you. So you then avoid people and situations.
Make it worse and worse and worse then,
Yeah.
going down that alley.
Yeah, and your world gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and very isolated.
And lonely?
Yeah, then that leads on to things like depression, and it's very difficult really to live like that, but you just try to make the best of your life as much as you can, really.
Is there anything you would say to anyone that's living with anxiety, or any tips that you find helpful yourself that you would tell somebody else?
Yeah, I would say, I think one of the things that's really helped me has been things like meditation.
You said that
Yeah,
before,
because it's self-regulating. To try and self-regulate the nervous system has really helped me, and also things like visualization. So actually visualizing yourself going into a situation and responding in the way that you want to respond, like an ordinary person, if you know what I mean. Like how you see people out on the street and they're just walking around doing their stuff.
Yeah.
And you want to be like them. You don't want to be like, oh, what's wrong with me? Am I ill? Or I can't talk to that person because they might be ill or whatever. But instead you visualise yourself just going about your business, walking down the road, saying hi to people, and just living a normal kind of life. So visualisation really helps, and also...
That's a really good one. I've never thought about that one.
Yeah, I love visualisation. It's a bit like, it might be a little bit spiritual as well in a way, like setting an intention of how you're going to be today.
Positive.
Yeah, and then trying to do that as much as you can. But often, because our minds are so set, it's hard to change your brain.
Very hard.
Yeah. So it goes back to default all the time. It's like, oh no, back there. So you've got to keep an awareness going of what you're thinking, because what you're thinking is affecting how you're feeling. So I try to be mindful. That's another one I do, is be really mindful of things. And also gratitude, I think, is really important. I'd appreciate things that maybe other people overlook, like the sun. Like right now, the sun is coming through the window over there.
The small things.
Yeah, and I will sit there and think that's just so beautiful.
In the sea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything like that. The countryside is so soothing, isn't it? And I think it's probably where we're meant to be, is the countryside. And I just love being out in nature and hearing the birds singing. And this time of year as well, that appreciation for the light coming up earlier,
Yeah.
the dawn, sunrise, sunsets as well, and hearing the birds singing like the dawn chorus. It's like the little things in life that some people might overlook. And
Or actually the big things.
yeah, they're the big things.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and I just think if you can keep that in your life, then even though you might be suffering from anxiety a lot, which I do every day, so every single day I struggle, but I keep in mind all the things that I love, which
Could be like your dancing too.
Yeah, my dancing.
I saw that this morning. It was lovely.
Yeah. It was a bit, it's a bit out there, wasn't it?
I liked it.
Yeah,
I find it quite nice.
Yeah.
I'm the same when it comes to the sea and the sun.
The sea and the sun, and breathing in the air, listening to the birds, and appreciating small things. And also, I'm a bit addicted to television series, so I watch really heartwarming, uplifting TV series,
Okay, cool.
like Heartland that you can see behind us right
Oh yeah,
now.
that's behind.
And that's all about family and love and horses, animals. That's another thing as well. Animals.
Yeah.
Love animals, and obviously I've got a little dog, a Springer Spaniel, who's crazy and a handful. He's called Barley, but he's making a noise right now. But he's lovely. But you know, I have to take him out.
Yeah.
I don't go far. I can only go short distances, but it means I have to interact with people as well.
It's very important.
Yeah, there was a guy today that I interacted with, and he had a Springer Spaniel, almost like Barley, very similar to Barley. And he was saying, oh, hello, and I have to interact.
Yeah.
So I'm in a situation where having a dog has enabled me to go out a little bit and interact with people, so that's made a difference too.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
I think similar to what other people probably have said on your channel, and that is never give up. Ever,
You like that one, didn't you? Out from Paul's.
I love that, yeah, because even though we think that our lives are going to be this way forever, it doesn't have to be that way. I have known times in my life where I did not have anxiety and I did not have agoraphobia, and I was free.
Yeah.
And it can happen. And if you've got the memory of that, of having
Keep
a
going
life,
for it.
then you could have it back again.
Yeah.
You just got to keep trying to kind of like accept the fact that you have anxiety. Try not to resist it. That's the biggest one. Like, struggling against it doesn't help. It just makes it worse. It increases it.
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, so trying to go with the flow, it's hard when you're having a panic attack just to go limp and allow it to be there. It's really tough. It is hard, but I still think that things like that is the answer. It's just allowing it to be there and knowing
You'll be right on the other side.
it will pass. It's always passed, you know. Otherwise I wouldn't still be here, would I? So,
Thanks for being part of my series.
Ah, thank you. I enjoy it and I love watching your videos.